Australian captain comes to the crease. A most experienced player in world one-day internationals. 291 matches. 39 50s and a couple of hundreds. Comes in because a caught behind. And it's coming for good measure. Nice bit of keeping. He's been most enthusiastic, and I think one of the reasons that perhaps Adam Ferrari was left out of the side after 84 consecutive games was that the wicketkeeper has to be the most enthusiastic person on the field. And Adam Ferrari had not been fulfilling his end of the bargain in that area, regardless of whether he's in form or out of form. This young man has certainly added a lot of enthusiasm and bubbliness throughout the team. And here's Bevan out.
And we see Paul Wiseman into the attack again, bowling his 6th over, and it's his 4th spell. And here it is, here's the wicket. Huge nick and a stumping for good measure. A good start by Chris Nevin.
So Devon moves along to 65. He's faced 99 balls, which is amazing average up. Strike rate is not great, but he's in the pacing mode at the moment, knowing that if he is there at the end, Australia will win. So he doesn't get flustered too often, Michael Bevan.
This man's done his job well too. It's been a little bit hard for him tonight. He's into his 4th spell, so he hasn't really had an opportunity to settle at the crease. Paul Wiseman has held his poise well. Seems to be in good bowling rhythm at the moment too. Important little stage here, working in tandem with a left-arm spinner, Daniel Vettori.
Nice turn for Wiseman, and Steve Waugh just turning a fraction early. There's a man out of mid-wicket to stop the Steve Waugh hoik. A bit more flight, and that allows Waugh to use his feet, comfortably getting the single to long on. Bevan keeps the strike. 33 overs gone, it's 158 for 4.
Another good over from Paul Wiseman. 3 runs off it, and he's been impressive to date. The depth of the Australian batting is just so obvious. A man like Steve Waugh comes to the crease. Still players like Damien Martin, Shane Lee and Harvey. One senses that New Zealand have to take 10 wickets to win this match.
Pretty comfortable equation for Australia still, so that man Bevan needs to be dismissed by New Zealand to give them any real chance. It's very hard to restrict Australia without bowling them out. So Victoria in his last over, can he weave some magic against Bevan? In the air and just wide of mid-off for 4. So Wiseman diving and just past him.
Well, Stephen Clement recognises that they do need to take wickets. He's held his mid-off inside the ring. Michael Bevan has bisected mid-off and extra cover in the air. So an element of luck.
Once again, Bevan, who has started the over with the boundary, will be pretty comfortable with this over already, even though it's only 2 balls old. He's moved along to 70. Steve Waugh is on 1. easily away from Fleming at short mid-wicket. 6 runs from the over. Good one for Australia so far.
Just a bit short from Daniel Vettori here, and Bevan seized on that early. Out the gap. So just the one ball left in Daniel Vettori's spell. He's bowled well tonight. Spin. They're looking to finish well. And a good finish. Australia 164 for 4. It's time for a drink.
Harvey Norman makes internet on your television easy. The EasyNet set-top box gives your whole family easy internet access. All you need is a phone line and a television. Surf the World Wide Web, send and receive email, talk live and send pictures in real time to friends with an optional camera. EasyNet Internet TV comes complete with set-top box, wireless remote, keyboard and microphone for $5.99. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Every one of you can call New Zealand for just $6 for each half hour. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With Telstra 0018 Easy Half Hours. Telstra Easy Rates for every one of you.
Government's new tax system is for your benefit, so take these steps. Register for an Australian business number now if you're a business or charity.
An Australian business number is a must for business.
Register now.
Prepare now for a better way of doing business.
Get ready for the new tax system now.
Put the new tax system to work for your business. If you need a registration kit, grab one from any newsagent, post office or major bank. Or call us and we'll send you one. Or register electronically at our website. And step up to the benefits of the new tax system. The new tax system. Make it your business. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
96 runs from the partnership between Bevan and Hayden. Some excellent shots, some big hitting early on of Scotty Styris. Super hit here, Paul Wiseman. Hayden down the ground, big shot that one, 6 runs. Chris Harris, he got taken 17 off his 2 overs. The Australians really got after Harris tonight. Some big strong hitting. Daniel Vettori took a little bit of punishment as well down the ground. And then Wiseman walks past one. Great bit of stumping. Chris Nevin, welcome to international cricket. And then Bevan, he just carries on. Smooth through to 72. Some very good shots. Let's have a look at the board. Michael Bevan, 72 not out. He's faced 106 balls. Really anchored this innings. Hayden, a very good knocker, 57 off 67. Captain Steve Waugh just arrived at the crease. Bowling for New Zealand, Chris Cairns at the top. 2 very important wickets early on. Early momentum for New Zealand. Styris went for a few, as did Simon Daub. But the 2 spinners, Wiseman and Vettori, they've done a good job for New Zealand. Very interesting little stage of the game. Well poised.
Steve Waugh on 1. So Wiseman has bowled 6 overs, 1 for 25. Nice footwork again by Steve Waugh. About 5 runs per over required here by Australia. New Zealand need to bowl Australia out or at least get them down to the 8th and 9th wickets. Bevan is there at the end. Australia will win. That is a guarantee.
Stephen Fleming really has to examine what attacking options he's got left within his bowling unit. Chris Cairns only has the 2 overs to bowl, so one would guess that he would probably bowl through the mid-40 over stage. Chris Harris could be the key guy, only having bowled the 2 overs.
Maybe some thought about denying these batsmen these easy singles to mid-off and to mid-on. Particularly Steve Waugh, who's just come to the crease. Probably he's quite adept at hitting the ball over the infield, but gee, he's only been there for 10 minutes. I'll be having my mid-on up, saying to Steve Waugh, well, you just come to the crease, go for it. Lovely shot. That's 4. At least they forced Steve Waugh to go inside out, and he hit it along the ground, and he hit it beautifully.
Yeah, this is a lovely shot from the Australian captain. Steve Waugh's used his feet here to the pitch of the ball. And it's a lovely shot through the covers for 4. Classy shot. Simon Mandor, of course, he's been brought in to add an attacking edge to the New Zealand lineup. He's only bowled the 5 overs. That's another option for Stephen Fleming to think about.
So again, 6 runs from the over. 35 gone, 170 for 4.
Every one of you can call New Zealand for just $6 for each half hour. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With Telstra 0018 Easy Half Hours. Telstra Easy Rates for every one of you.
Friday afternoon at 5:30, the Highlanders take on South African side, the Sharks. It'll be a tough battle for the tourists. Live and exclusive from the notorious House of Pain. Every game, every weekend. The Amy Super 12 live on Fox Sports 2.
Not a bad move this by Stephen Fleming. Seems to be the slower bowlers and the slow medium bowlers that are the best, even allowing for the fact that Chris Harris has bowled 2 overs for 17, which doesn't really add to that conclusion. But Nathan Astle, not bad. A man who bowls part-time, average of just over 4.5 runs per over. Australia needs about that to win the game. So it's balanced here, but perhaps the pendulum just slowly going in Australia's favour. One of the Australian players, Kevin, are looking forward to the lobster at the end of the day's play. Lobster being brought into the rooms for both teams. Tastes even better for one side. Nice link bowling from Nathan Astle.
Hasn't done a lot of bowling in this series, Nathan Astle. He's been a little bit below par in terms of his bowling. 6 overs for 48 in Dunedin, very expensive. 4 overs for 28 in Christchurch. I've always felt that he's could become a key component in this New Zealand lineup, bowling through the middle. Does take the pace off the ball. Very good slower ball.
And can't get to it. Really should have stopped that Astle. But the little singles that we need to prevent. Everyone goes along to 74 from 112. Steve Waugh on 6.
Still be fielding change here. Robert Millen's on the park. He goes back to a backward square on the boundary. We've got 3 men in the circle, mid-off, cover and backward point. Extra protection employed on the leg side.
With that 3 single again. And Australia got 3 runs from the over. It is 173 for 4.
Fraser is looking for his brother, Roland Fraser. Melbourne Fraser contributes Kerrangi 0.42.
Steve Waugh won the toss, selected a bowl, and New Zealand made 243 for 9. Australia, 36 overs gone, 4 down. Gilchrist, Mark Waugh, Hayden and Warren, the batsman out. Warren sent in a pinch hitting roll. Didn't work. On big 6. So Wiseman. His bowl is 8th over. Bevan gets a single to that man who is fielding in no man's land at Udon. He's not preventing the single. So he may be back on the boundary. Sinclair. Changing the commentary position. It's Jeremy Coney and with him Ian Smith.
Thank you, David. Wiseman to Waugh. Attempted dong lap. Now the interesting thing here at this stage for me, in terms of bowling for New Zealand, there's a single for Steve Waugh, is Scott Styris. Now you see there he's got 3 overs and he bats at number 8. 3 overs for 15. He's over 7 so far. I don't think he's finished his 10 overs so far in any of the matches in this series. And I just wonder whether Fleming feels he can use him here. He certainly is a bowler who bats in this team. Steve Waugh once again, it's a repeat. I just wonder whether his place is being fully utilised. If he can't bowl, then it seems to me you have to ask the question, why is he there? Would it be better employed by New Zealand to perhaps have McMillan in and just to rely on Doolan Cairns? Oh, that's close. Well bowled. The 2 spinners, Harris and Astle. And then have the benefit of the extra batsman. Off the over, 178 for 4.
Well, you're not going to get any disagreement out of me for that theory.
I wondered whether you're going to talk at all.
Well, I was enjoying it so much. I was just listening to what Francis Payne was telling me. He has yet to bowl 10 overs in an innings, as you say. He bowled 9 overs, took 1 for 60 at Jade Stadium. That's the most overs he's bowled, and that was a batting feast from the Australians. So, I agree wholeheartedly with you.
It'll be interesting to see whether Stephen Fleming utilises Scott Styris. At the moment he's opted for Nathan Astle, who tended to bowl towards the end of the innings when New Zealand played the West Indies and was pretty effective. Styris, of course, to be effective, Ian, it seems to me he's about the same pace as, say, Harvey for Australia. And we saw some of the options that Harvey's got earlier today. Slower ball out of the back of the hand. Lots of variations and subtle ones. Bevan rolls on relentlessly. I think those are the sort of things a bowler of Styris' pace needs. He started to swing it earlier on in this innings, and that helped them. But he still went for 5s.
The problem you have, I think, with a bowler like Styris being your first change bowler is that I think you should be looking to take wickets at that time when he's bowling. He's bowling perhaps the 9th or 11th over or 10th or something very early on with a newish ball. Now, if he's not a wicket-taking option, I don't think he can bowl then. He shouldn't be containing there. The bottom hand there from Steve Waugh, but good judgment in the run. And that's where I think New Zealand start their bowling problems. First change. They brought Robert Kennedy into the squad. Simon Doull has been dropped and gone back past him back into the team without even any sight of him.
Nothing against Styris at all. It's just it seems to me a position that is being held within a team and being fully utilised. Well, that's gone through to the boundary, and that's 7 off, 185 for 4.
Yes, it sounds like we're being a wee bit picky here, and we should be praising the Australians too for their good shot play and the way they've turned this match around with some fine batting. It just does make you wonder from time to time what goes on in selectors' minds and captains' minds. I guess that's part of the fun of the job. Nice just to find an answer at some point.
Well, here's one of the answers. Scott Styris is coming to the bowling crease. So we're not going to be left wondering whether he's going to be bowling anymore. Here he is. And it'll be very interesting to see whether he's able to have those variations, or whether in fact the Australian batsmen are just going to sort of milk him, as they, I must say, done to a lot of the other bowlers here, particularly mid-off and mid-on. You're either in saving the single, it seems to me, or you're right out on the edge, giving yourself the best chance to save the boundary. So 4.91 required. Start of the 39th.
The problem for New Zealand is they just haven't been able to put enough pressure on the Australian run rate. The skyline there shows it really hasn't wavered too much off the required right from point one. They've just paced themselves ever so nicely. They lost the 2 wickets there of Waugh and Gilchrist in the first 7 overs, and that was good from New Zealand's point of view. That was the desired result. They would have hoped for that, but then that partnership between Hayden and Bevan, mixed with some good overs and some quiet, patient overs, didn't affect the run rate required markedly enough that Australia were ever under pressure. And even with the loss of a couple more wickets, they've kept it on that constant, and that is the story of this chase. It's been pretty well paced.
I suppose when you contemplate Damien Martin still in the hutch, he's yet to come. Shane Lee, Harvey, still some batting there as well. Fielding from the captain. It's better, he's in a bit closer, preventing the single this time, Sinclair. Well, there we are. There's one of the variations. Now, Looks a little bit agricultural, I suppose you could say, but watch the non-bowling arm. We don't use it. There it is. And you can see it was dragged down just a little short. It's sort of like an atrophied limb. That's 39 gone, 188 for 4. Been in for 18 deliveries, and he's on 16. Strike rate of 88. Michael Bevan, he's the one guiding this Australian side through to this target. They need 56 New Zealand bowlers. Well, 7 of them used so far. Wiseman. Stumping. And he's back at the bowling crease.
Yes, about to bowl his 9th over, and this, believe it or not, is his 5th spell. So whether it's a plan that Stephen Fleming told him about before this bowling performance began, I certainly hope so. Very, very hard to settle in bowling this many spells and only 9 overs.
There we are. There are the spells that Paul Wiseman has had. Just 1 over in the first spell and 2 for the second and third.
Oh, lovely ball, Musa. I think they're free.
Third spell when he picked up the first wicket of Hayden. And then 3 overs, and then his 5th spell currently. Impressive things, isn't it, about the Australian batsmen, all prepared to use their feet to get to the pitch of the ball.
They're playing in such confident mood, the Australians, that they back themselves. That's why. Comparisons are very even at this point, but when you look at what they've got left to come, the Australians, they probably have got quite a sizable advantage. Pitched in line, perhaps turning to miss off stump. Quite a long way forward, Michael Bevan, and with the ball travelling on the angle, I think Doug Cowie made the right decision there.
Well, this was the time, wasn't it, for the New Zealand innings, when Harris and Cairns and Harris in that order came in and found the bowling difficult to get away. Driving through to the sweeper, just a single, and were held up by Shane Warne, Mark Waugh initially, and then Harvey towards the end.
Steve Waugh has got a liking to get down on one knee and belt off spinners round about mid-wicket, perhaps over wideish mid-on. They've got men back, the New Zealanders.
There she goes. 9-6.
Well, you got a feel for the bowler here, Paul Wiseman. He's done everything right. He's set the man in the right position. Simon Dool, he's tempted Steve Waugh to play the shot. I think we all knew it was going to happen. And Simon Dool takes the catch, can't retain the balance. Bad luck all round, and he cannot believe it. Can't blame him. 40 overs gone. Valiant effort by Simon Dool. He just couldn't maintain his balance inside. Well, it was a brilliant bit of work, but I just wonder why, when he knew he was losing his balance and couldn't stop, Simon Dool didn't put the ball back in the field of play. Would have saved some runs.
Exactly. He couldn't throw the ball up and then run back in and take the catch and still be out. You can't affect that. You've got to be inside the field of play to complete the whole activity, but certainly you could save runs there. Scott Styris, the new man, is picked off for a single. Bevan just timing this beautifully at the moment.
The reason I feel so sorry for Wiseman is that because he did everything right himself. The guy in the right place to take the catch. They bait the trap. They knew Steve Waugh was going to take him on. And if he'd hit it out of the park, fair enough, but he didn't.
This time down the ground.
Today it was announced that Ricky Ponting won't be touring New Zealand. He failed a fitness test. Well, Michael Bevan has certainly told a few selectors that if they want him, he's in the country, he's prepared to stay. Tremendous batting performance.
Well, Steve Waugh's played a nice drive and he's threaded it through the offside. 7 off the over, 202 for 4 this stage.
And it's not over yet. It's a good drive, just a half volley, and that was beautifully placed because he did have to hit inside the ball a wee bit to get it wide of mid-off. Lovely abbreviated follow through with that left elbow up nice and straight. And Michael Bevan is probably telling his captain down the other end, Steve Waugh, that if he wants him to hang around for the white clothing stuff, more than happy to do so. And we won't have to wait too long to see if he's convinced him, because they named that replacement later tonight, the Australian selectors.
The over, 203 for 4.
Wanna be there, gotta be there with you. Wanna be there, gotta be there with you.
2000, year of the Sydney Olympics. Fox Sports takes you to the Optus Grand Prix Athletics, where Australia's top stars are out to impress. See them live from Melbourne. Optus Grand Prix.